Morning all, Nimby here. Gonna do some Puget Bugs today in size 10. Be sure I've tied these on the stream before at some point. It's been a good while though. Okay, so I'm gonna lay a thread base back just before the point there. Now we're gonna do some extra outs to lock it in. And we'll be building up a little bit of a thread bump there too. Okay, so the Puget Bug was originated in 1962 by Enos Radner from Seattle. It was widely used in Puget Sound area, hence the name, as a nymph that was fished for feeding rainbow when they weren't recognizing any other nymphs in the area. So kind of like a searching pattern. It's an excellent little lake fly. I've actually had some pretty good luck on it in the local lakes here too. Morning, Jack Pepper. Good to have you, mate. We're just going to be making a little bit of a thread bump at the rear here because our first thing we're tying in is going to be some biots for the tail. Doesn't have to be huge, just enough to splay them out a little bit. Excuse me. Okay, the original pattern for this calls for 2 stiff black wisps from a narrow side of a black duck wing feather. So that would be a flight feather. I do have some, but not handy. So we're just going to go with goose. And this nice gray. Even though it calls for a black feather, when you're pulling the biots out on a duck feather, they're going to be this kind of dark gray on the inside. But use whatever biots you got. It's pretty easy to find duck feathers. Not necessarily flight feathers, but it is definitely easy to find duck feathers. Hey Robert, good to have you in. Yeah, clicky the button. If you guys are watching and you like what you're seeing, feel free to give her a clicky click. Okay, so we're just going to tie our first one in here. This isn't a dry fly, but it's tied in the same proportions that I would be tying in a dry fly. So I'm just going to be doing it for the length of the shank of the body. It does end up looking a lot like a dry fly, but it's fished like a wet nymph. Thanks, Jack Pepper. I've never done that. It's okay. Yes, prescribe all over the screen. Sorry, just fussing with my tail here. I think I got her pretty good there. I lined up pretty good. Happy with that. I like getting a tail like lined in like that, nice and proper, like makes me happy. Okay, I'm gonna be tying in the butts here, but you don't have to, you can clip them off. The body has two sections to this fly. It has a forward and aft section, front and back, I guess. The back section is going to be moose mane, and the front is going to be just your regular peacock will, or peacock rod. For the back, we want to have an alternate of a light and dark moose mane. So that's this guy. Ugh. You can see if you look through and pick through, you can get some that are black and some that are lighter color. So you want to get one of each. And on this particular patch, there's a lot more dark than there is light. So, but that's fine. This will tie thousands of these, so it's all good. All right. Yeah, so we're doing the first 2/3 is going to be in the moose mane. Here's our two moose mane quills. You can see this one is darker and this one is lighter. I normally soak these. I forgot my water. And it makes your tea taste funny, so I'm not going to soak it in my tea. So we're just going to give it a go. See how it goes. Yeah, those are both even. You're going to want to clip off the ends. The ends, they're not necessarily brittle, but it's a little too thin to be starting the body wrap on. So I normally just take off that much. And you got plenty here to wrap the body with, so we're going to start that in at that 2/3 mark. You do want to try and keep your body fairly clean with your wraps. We don't want to bring it right back to the quills, but as close as we can without interrupting them. You want to get a good 3 or 4 wraps as you're going back, just to secure those in so they don't pull. And as I work back here, I'm just going to clean up the body. And you don't really have to worry about building up any taper because yeah, you got her. Moose mane, goose, and peacock. Well, goose in this case, the original pattern calls for duck, but I mean, duck quill is not a whole lot different than the goose quill. I do have the proper duck quills. Actually, my entryway, I have a handful of flight feathers that I found. Now you want to wrap these together so you have alternating white and black. However, I find if I'm using a hackle plier that they tend to not wrap the same with the same tension. So I am going to use a hackle plier, but it's going to be way down the end here. And it's just there to hold it in case I drop something so it doesn't go sabroing. So I'm not using it to hold them together. Just as a safety. Actually, To make things easier on myself, I'm gonna half hitch this and we'll just use the rotary. For the hackle on this, we're going to be using a Hungarian or a partridge, which I forgot on my desk over there. So when we get to that point, I'll pop away for a second and grab it. It's just beside me. It's just out of reach. Okay, the hardest part and most important part is going to be this first couple wraps. So I'm trying not to get it caught on the hook point. Because it will just go sabroing snap. And then Nimby will be sad. I think I was actually going over top of my weight there. One second. I want that variegation. Yeah, that's better. It'll give you a really nice segmented body look. You got it. All of the above. Okay, I'm not sure if I'll get 2 flies out of this one chunk of moose mane here, or if this will be too thick, but I'm going to try this. For the next fly, since these are thicker, I shouldn't need as much. We'll see if we get a second fly out of that. There we go. Hey, Fly Shack dropped in. Good day, mate. Always good to have another Canuck in here. Oh, got some wispy cat hairs I'm stuck in there. There we go. Get out of my fly. Go get. Yeah, good to have you in, mate. I haven't seen you in here in a bit. Okay, so next part's pretty easy. We're just gonna be tying in some Peacock. And we're just doing the next third and then up to where we're gonna be tying in our hackle. This is a fun yet relaxing pattern. I really enjoyed tying this one. I tied a whole snot of them up last time I was tying these. It has like a lot of aspects that I really just enjoy tying. Like I really like quill tails. I love Peacock. Moose mane is just all get out fun to tie with. And it actually worked pretty well. I didn't have to get it wet like I did the other time. Although this moose mane that I have here was soaking in the water from the last time we were tying with moose mane. So it's probably still got a fair bit of moisture in it. Same stuff. Just reusing my old stock. So I'm just going back over the last couple wraps here just to make sure that everything is copacetic and happy. And it gives a nice transition, and then we'll move forward here. We're going for 1/3 of the shank length in Peacock. This reminds me a lot of that, oh, the name has just escaped me. I want to say Black Devil, but that's not it. It was Black... Oh, what was it now? We did it. It was had a black black chenille front there and mylar body. I have to look it up in my book here now. No, it wasn't needlefly. It had black in the name. Yeah, that was me. I got gobs of really cool stuff like that to post. I just gotta actually get around to taking pictures of it and editing it and putting it on here. But I have a rather large collection of old fishing books that I love, and I want to share the joy. So, to me, I think a lot of that, the older knowledge like that's kind of lost. Yeah, and that's the thing. Even if it's not like ground. Good, I'm glad. Well, that's the thing. A lot of these older, vintage fishing ideas aren't groundbreaking or anything, but they're they come from a time when it was more about, results and not flash, right? And that time period just kind of sings to my heart, so I enjoy sharing it with people. Okay, so I'll be right back. Like I said, I just gotta grab the hackle. It'll only be 2 seconds. It's right beside me. I just can't reach it. There we go. Apologize for that. I'm back. I grabbed my bag of I thought it was partridge, but it was starling. Once I started the stream, I was like, oh, that's not partridge. But this is. That's a wonderful dark, like, not Hungarian partridge, it's the other one. Hungarian partridge is a little more on the lighter brown gray side for the most part. Whew, and it's wonderfully preserved. Has that fly shop mothball smell to it. Alright. I grab a mitt full of those out and we'll try and get a good size one. That's so cool. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I like. I enjoy that. It's just innovation, right? We're all out there to enjoy ourselves. What is it? It doesn't matter what we're throwing. Really, really doesn't. Too many people get too wound up in what's on the end of your line and judgmental stuff. Okay, this one might be a hair on the long side, and it's definitely bent, but we'll just see the length here. Yeah, that one's probably just a bit. What we're going for, I'm just going to strip this off so I can see the hackle size a little better. What we're going for, come on, like I said, like dry fly proportions, so a little longer. Yeah, you know what? Let's give this one a try. Just gonna strip that off. Now it's a really sparse hackle, so like 1.5, maybe 2 wraps kind of thing. We're not trying to float this. It's just yeah. So I'm just gonna grab the tip of the feather right here. The rachis has quite a bend on it, so hopefully it's not going to throw me off at all. Pull that back. I think we can get a few more fibers out of that. There we are. Yeah, about the matchstick fly thing. I'm always surprised how big of a reach that the YouTube posts actually have, and I'm grateful for it. But yeah, a lot of channels really just forget about the whole posting aspect, including myself. It's kind of the point. I'm just going to cut that off so we can make a nice little tie-in point there. One second, just gotta spin my bobbin clockwise a bit. My thread appears to be a little coiled. That is better. Yeah, I have fun doing that. I like it when people pick materials and flies for me. I'm not really set up for it in that most of my filming gear covers my fly tying area when I got all my filming stuff set up. So I can't access all the material I'd like to. So I have to kind of have it pulled out ahead of time. But in the future, we might look into that a little more. What I'd like to do, I think it would be a fun idea for a stream. And I need to do it because it's not my trash can, but every fly tyer has one there. Their trash bin of non-trash that's, has potential. So I keep mine in my little box here. And I sort it all, so I got my little nibs and different pieces of whatever, everyone's got one. I think it'd be fun to do like a stream where we just go through that and just build flies out of the wasted, junk. Just make stuff. Because I do enjoy doing that. And it's getting pretty full. I'm getting to that point where I need to clean it up. Make some actual use out of it. Yeah, sorry, I knew what you meant. Yeah. I was just referring to my stream. But yeah, I got what you're saying there. Fly shack, no worries. Can't really tell if I jumped ahead of myself. I don't think I did. I'm getting a number of fibers that are poking out the front here. I'm not really sure what's going on. It looks like they shouldn't be, but there we go. Okay, never mind. Partridges, pretty notorious for being a pain to wrap. But I enjoy the challenge of it. Marketplace is an excellent place to start. It's not excellent for a lot of things, but it is excellent for fly tying. You get a lot of estate sales and what have you. I know, tell me about it. I gotta get all my stuff together. Pretty much done. We have a number of things that we bought like early November, if not earlier, that still haven't come yet, and they're still showing shipping, and it's like, are they gonna make it? Are they not? But we're not the only ones in that boat. There's gobs of people with all the tariff stuff and everything else going on in the world. Shipping has been weird, to say the least. Okay, so there we go. You can tie, I like tying these back like that, like a little bit of a soft hackle style, so it goes back. And I want them to be ending just after the body there. So they don't cover the tail, but I want them kind of landing within the first like third of the tail, like there. So that's pretty good. I thought it was going to be a hair too long, but it actually turned out quite well. So I'm just going to pin this back here. We'll make a nice little head for it. I do have a little bit of a nib sticking out there. One sec, let's see if I can clean that a little better. Just gonna give it a dabber with the Sharpie. Thanks, Jack Pepper, appreciate that. Yeah, if you're starting to learn, well, obviously that is what I do. I like helping people. Actually have some plans on making up like a fly tying masterclass. But a fly tying masterclass for like the rest of us, not like expert fly tyers. I want to just start a YouTube class that's literally takes you through like all the basic stuff and just makes it for like the average person that's literally sitting on the john flipping through shorts and gets a spark of interest in fly tying and just wants to try it without having any gear at all in their house. That's the kind of person I'd like to get into fly tying. So if you can just start and get your first couple done, you know, it might ignite that spark in you. If you've been tying for 15 years, yeah, I mean, if you've been tying for years, it's like you've already got that. You already know what you're doing, what you want to do, where you want to go, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy. But for that person that's just sitting on the couch, and then they see something like that, and they're like, hey, that's cool, I want to try that. That's a totally different teaching method and audience for sure. I think it would be fun to do that. And you don't really see much about that either. It's either high-end tires that are trying to sell you something, or some older school tires that are really stuck in their way. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. That's the idea anyway. But I've already kind of started on it, so I'm gonna get those out there for in the new year. And it's not that a skilled fly tyer can't follow it either. They just might get a kick out of it. There we go. So that is a Puget Bug. It's supposed to represent nymphs, like just a searching pattern nymph, so it has like a mix of all sorts of goodness in it. It doesn't represent any one specific nymph type or even a nymph in general. But it is an excellent searching pattern when nothing's hatching or rising up. The other idea with that series of videos is going to be, I have a lifetime of random weird fly tying knowledge that I don't even think about doing anymore. Like when I'm cutting off my thread here from the fly, I'll put my finger on top of the bobbin and then pull away. So when I cut the thread stays on the bobbin and I don't lose it and it doesn't fall back. Little things like that. Little tips and tricks about that a lot of YouTubers while they're tying on here don't go over because they do it 1,000 times in a tying session. They don't think about it. But that new tyer that's just sitting on the couch that has even no idea what a bobbin is, they don't know. So I think it would be a good idea to share all that. A lot of knowledge that we seem that seems basic to us if we've been tying for a while can be absolutely mind-blowing for a new tyer. And it might be the difference between them getting frustrated and dropping the hobby and enjoying the hobby, or at least finding a way to struggle through it. There we go. That's a Puget Bug. I'm going to do my little rotation and spiel here. That's a Puget Bug tied on a size 12. For its tail, it has two stiff black goose biots spread out in frond shape. The body is tied with the first 2/3 of the body is tied with two moose mane, one black, one lighter color. So you get a nice variegation. And the 1/3 of the body is tied with Peacock hurl, just before the collar. And the Hackle collar is tied in with a gray Hungarian partridge. This was originally tied in 1962 by Enos Brader from Seattle. Widely used in the Puget Sound area, hence the name. Has a nymph, and it's fished when no other hatches are going on, so it's a really good searching pattern. It's a really excellent lake fly. Yeah, let's get a few more of those done. I enjoy tying these, I really do. There's nothing horribly special about them, but they have a lot of aspects that really tickle my tying fancy. And they're just challenging enough to not be boring. And I have a lot of aspects that really help your skills with getting your proportions right, tails, getting nice clean body wraps, all that good stuff. So doing a couple dozen of these guys up will help your fly tying skills for sure. That is just fun. It's a fun little fly. You're getting all the same kind of skills in that you're working on as you would with like an Adams. Yeah, and like if you don't have moose mane, because it's not the easiest thing to come by, you can definitely just use thread. You can use two different colors of wire, although that would make it a bit heavier, so you'd have to keep that in mind. Alternatively, too, you could just tie the body in black with black thread and just make a thread body, and then just wrap a white thread. That's an interesting question for this time of year. This time of year, for me, it's just hard to fish because the water is like deciding whether it wants to freeze or not. So I can't. Right now, the water was open like a week and a half ago. It was completely frozen. I was ready to start ice fishing. We had about, thick ice forming, and nice and clear, hard. And then it went to plus 18, and all the ice melted in like 2 days. And then we had open water, so it was like, okay, well, do I get my spinning gear out and do some spinning? And then 2 days later, it started freezing again. And now we just had a temperature drop again here. So I'm hoping it's deciding to freeze up again. But when it's in that middle stage, I can't really do a lot of fishing because it's not safe to go on the ice. And the water's not open enough to cast yet. So it's kind of annoying. The only thing I could do is either change my elevation, because I'm quite high up in elevation, so I can go down in the valleys and river fish a little bit right now. Although this time of year it's a little bit punishing, being that it's super cold. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm just above you guys in BC. We're not flooding where I am. We're actually extremely low right now, but all of our water is coming your guys' way. So that's what's happening, is all that snow melt that caused my ice to melt is heading down to you guys. Thanks, gravity. Excuse me. We're still early in the season, so I'm not worried about snowpack yet. Yeah, well, I'll definitely have the opposite problem in the summer or in the spring when everything's thawing. Oh. Well, goodbye, buy it, wherever. Oh, no. Did you land on my pants? 1 second, I might save him. Aha. No, that's not a bite. Okay. Got a random partridge feather stuck to my pants. I thought it was the bite I dropped. Alright, well, let's cut a new one. I was just going to move it back a hair because it was a little short, but that's what I get for being a picky. But yeah, that's hard to answer that question because I really just can't fish right now. Or easily, anyway. Like I said, I can go down, I can drop an elevation by about 1,000 meters, and it'll be warm enough that the water's open. But if I do that, then I'm in the valley, and it's, this time of year is incredibly windy and cold. Yeah, there you go. I'm not by Castlegar, but the area I live in is very, very similar to Castlegar. As far as looks and fish and everything goes, Castlegar is like an awesome place to fish. I got that pretty close. I think I should stop fussing with it and call that good, probably. But yeah, if you've been to Castlegar, then you've kind of seen the area that I fish in. It is very, very similar to Castlegar. Well, they have some like world. No, I've driven by it though. But Castlegar is pretty world famous for their salmon trout fishery. There we go. I always like it when the biots just like line up perfectly like that. Nice split. Happy with that. Yeah, that's another one of my problems is trying to get signal to go live with. But yeah, I seen you out on the ice there. I was actually, Robert, I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds late for your live when you were posting that. It just dropped out as I joined, but I still watched it anyway. But I'm thinking I will probably have enough to wrap this. Like I said, we're gonna try. Yeah, I've heard good things about that. Okay, one second. We want to tie you both in, not just one of you. Yeah, I enjoyed you spudding the ice there, Rob. I need to get me another spud bar. I have no idea where mine ended up. Not like they're hard to find or make one, but I need to get that done. It's amazing how quickly you can actually chisel a hole open with a spud bar. Okay, let's throw a half hitch in that. I'll do the rotary again. Yeah. And the ice did look good. It's always sketchy that first, the first couple times you're out on the ice. I remember when my wife's an Arizona girl, and she hasn't been on the ice all that much, being a wonderful Arizona girl. But being the Canadian that I am, it's like, I'm going to take her ice fishing, right? So, same time of year, I'm going to go show her how explaining her ice safety, just like Rob was doing. And I get out on the ice, and as soon as I take like 5 steps in, he just makes a crack, right? And then, like, so I freeze and just wait. And it looked good. But then all of a sudden it just started cracking all around me, and I had to slowly make my way back to shore. But I got out maybe 5 or 10 feet, just enough to be annoyingly dangerous. But it was one of those do what I do, not what I say, or do what I say, not what I do moments. Trying to teach her ice safety, and here the ice is all breaking around me. But what actually happened there in that case is it was by one of the local boat launches we have, and someone drove their Sea-Doo or their snowmobile and broke the ice up, and it refroze. Which you have to be careful of. I figured it just refroze enough, but nope, it did not. It was much thinner than what it looked like. And I'm generally pretty good with ice safety, although I will say I've fallen through the ice 3 times in my life and gotten wet. And I've learned a lot of lessons. It's not as dramatically dangerous as a lot of people think, to be honest. What leader you should use? It would depend on what you're fishing for, how you're fishing. The best honest answer is really just what you have handy and what you can afford. I mean, you can really just tie some mono on and call it a day and get to some fishing. But if you're going, what kind of fish are you trying for? And are you fishing wet or dry? Or you have no idea? Either one's fine. All good, mate. There's no wrong questions here. And are you a new caster, or have you had some experience? Because that'll make a difference too. That's another video I need to make, is actually how to tie your own leaders up. I've been meaning to do that and send some out as giveaways. Alright, so we're going to do the next third in Peacock. Oh, I've heard of those. Yeah, okay. I'm assuming you'd probably be wet fly fishing for those then. Are you dry fly fishing or wet? Or both? £20 burbot. Holy. Those things are, that would be like monsters. Okay, that's cool. Okay. So the only reason I ask is it just changes a little bit of, like, you can go, if you're fishing wet, like nymphs and wet flies and that, you can go a lot heavier, right? As far as your line size and everything goes. And you can go with less of a taper. If you're going dry flies, you want everything to be as light as possible so you're not sinking your fly, and also for presentation, because most of the time with a dry fly you want it to kind of just flop out and land. Yeah, whoa, Jack. The most, if you're kind of new to casting and you just want to give yourself a bit of a break and make it easier on yourself, one of the more important things with your tippet is not necessarily size or weight. I mean, obviously you want it strong enough so it's not going to snap on whatever kind of fish you're getting. So, you know, if you're catching, 3-pound fish, you probably want a 5 or 6 pound. But barring all that stuff, which is, pretty basic and anyone can figure that part out, is the taper on the line for your tippet is really going to help you with your casting and your presentation, and when it flops out and lays flat on the water. If your tippet's all the same length, so like you literally just cut off a piece of mono and tie it onto your fly line, it'll work. But what it'll do is it'll kind of just fall in a heap, and that really upsets a lot of new casters. So you'll think like you're doing something wrong or you're not throwing the line out. But what's happening is if the line is really limp and it doesn't have a taper to it, you're not transferring, because what you're doing is you're transferring the energy from your rod, or basically from your hand to your rod to your fly line, like the floating or sinking or whatever you got tied on there. And then that transfers the energy into your leader. But if your leader is a limp little piece of monofilament with no substantial weight or mass basically to it, you can't transfer. You can't transfer all that energy. So what ends up happening is you transfer the energy to the first 3 feet of line, and then the rest of it just kind of falls on its face and ends up in a big heap in front of you in the water, and it looks horrible. And a lot of people get frustrated and quit at that point. So what you want to do, 19 pounds, that's absolutely nuts. Yeah, I would expect that. 19 pounds is crazy for a bird. So what you want to do, and I'm guessing you're asking because you don't either have one or you might not have access to a fly shop that has tapered leaders. So what you can do is there's a mathematical equation that you don't have to follow exactly, but it helps. Like I said, I really need to make a video on this. So I will probably, actually maybe I'll Well, it's Christmas time, so I'm probably not gonna have time till the new year. But you know, everyone knows how crazy Christmas gets. Either way, I definitely have it on my list of videos to make, and I'll do that. But what you want to do is you want to transition from a thicker monofilament down to a thinner monofilament, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's thicker as in it's stronger, like break strength wise, just that it's literally thicker and stiffer. So it's the same principle as, like, if you know what a bullwhip looks like, right? Like the bullwhip, the whip is like ridiculously thick by the handle, like it's, you know, thick, right? Then it tapers right down to a very, very thin tip. And when you whip the whip, all the energy from your arm gets transferred into the whip from the thicker part, which isn't as flexible, to the end, which is extremely flexible. Yeah, I heard burbot are super tasty. I've only had them once in my life, and I did thoroughly enjoy it. It was in Alberta. We do have burbot here, I just haven't fished for them. I really should look that up and see where we have some burbot. Because I would like, that is on my list of bucket fish. Yeah. No worries. So sorry. So I kind of didn't really finish my thought process there. But it's like a bullwhip, right? So you want thicker to thinner. And when I first started fly fishing, I figured you wanted thicker to thinner just because you wanted the line to taper down to, you know, something thinner so you could tie your fly on, right? But it's not that at all. It's to do with energy transfer. Yeah, like Jack Pepper said there. So you can look it up online. I don't have it on the top of my head, and it really depends on the size of your rod and a few other things. And like I said, it really doesn't have to be exact. You can fudge this a bit, and it'll work just fine. But if you're gonna cut line and make something the right size, then you may as well look up what the right size is for your rod. So take the size of your rod, and like I said, just Google that equation for cutting your own leaders. And you can buy 3 spools of monofilament. So if you don't have a fly shop, but you have, say, like a Bass Pro or, you know, a Walmart or anything that sells mono, you can buy 3 spools. So you buy one that's really thick, so something like a salmon fly or a salmon, you know, ocean line, something that's a heavy, heavy mono, and that's gonna be your first couple feet, and that's yeah, yeah, 4 feet's like, it's 12 centimeters to a foot, so, or no, sorry, 12 inches to a foot, and that's 30 centimeters, so that's 60. Yeah, I mean, give or take about 80 centimeters. I'd have to actually get a calculator, but yeah, that doesn't sound too off. And like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. It's not gonna change how it performs that much that it's gonna matter to you. Hey, Ron, good to have you in, man. Have you hit your 500 yet? I've been really hoping. I've been checking your channel every couple days here, waiting for you to hit 500. Hey guys, if you haven't subbed to, I mean, you all should be subbed to Run if you're not, but if you haven't subscribed to Run in the channel here, jump over to his channel and give him a sub quick. Not only does he tie awesome bait fish, but he's right on the edge of 500 subscribers, and he's been putting the work in. And he deserves that 500. So go give him the last couple. You can be that person that gives him that little bump. Yeah, tell me about it. My watch time's been like that, just up and down, up and down, up and down. It's like, come on, make up your mind. Yeah, no, it's awesome channel. He's really good at what he does, and you can learn a lot by watching him. And he's just a good guy, so go drop him a couple subs. But yeah, casual fisher, you want to have that transition from thick line to thin line, and just tying them. You can use a blood knot, is what I use a lot. There's a number of other knots like surgeon knots and things you can use to tie the two monos together. But you want to have that transition from thick like salmon line all the way down to your thin tippet. Yeah, enjoy the pike, man. Let me know how that works for you. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop in anytime, mate. Alright, sorry, getting sidetracked here with the other stuff. Gonna get this wrapped up. Oop. Drop my hackle pliers. Okay, well, that's why we have like dozens of them, right? We'll grab another one. Yeah, and that's like, if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, modify. Good. Yeah, give him a sub. That first 500 subscribers is a bear. It takes a long time to get that first bit, unless you get lucky and something pounds out. But if you're working at it every day like Run is, good, that's awesome. I hope he comes back. He seemed like a cool dude. And anyone I've ever met from the Netherlands area has always been good people, so hopefully he has a good day fishing. I probably went a bit too much on a tangent for his question there, but what are you gonna do? There we go, got another Puget Bug. Why? Man, that partridge didn't want to separate too well, did it? Alright, let's bury this in. It's going to make a nice little head on it. Stay. Yeah, what's with that? Like, a lot of my subscriptions have been dropping off to people, and I'm not sure why. It's like, even people I watch their channels, and all of a sudden it's like, what? Why am I not subscribed? But I mean, YouTube's been doing that for years now. Just annoying. There you go. Robert's breaking out the membership emoji icons. Cool, I haven't seen those in a while. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, I've been playing around with some of the new AI editing stuff and the for Rob's comment that he threw in there the other day. With the YouTube. No worries, Jack Pepper. Have a good one. We'll see you when you get back. Yeah, Rob, just to your question there, I've been playing around with the some of the new AI editing options in the YouTube app. And it actually came in handy when I was really sick there and I couldn't do any voiceover stuff properly and I sounded like a fish stuck in a can. So it's handy for that. I'm on the fence on the stuff. I don't necessarily like it or dislike it. No worries, Run, man. You deserve it. You've been putting the work in. I wouldn't recommend you if I didn't think you were doing a good job. Yeah, I was playing around with all the new AI editing options that they have in the YouTube, well, YouTube Create and YouTube Studio apps, and they're kind of interesting. I mean, they definitely need a lot more work and polish, but since I wasn't feeling good and I wasn't able to do voiceovers, the AI voice thing actually was pretty handy. See if we can get you to 900 there, or 500. Eventually you'll get to 900. Oh, yeah, I'm really on the fence with all the AI stuff because it's like, from a technical background, because I love computers and all the technical stuff, I find it absolutely fascinating. But in the same token, it's like, I was also a graphic artist and a video editor and an animator and all that stuff that's just going to disappear now. For years, that was my bread and butter. Yeah, I don't tie a lot of bait fish stuff. Not that I couldn't, I just don't. No real reason. But Run makes some really good like game changers and bait fish patterns. That's a fun thing to do because you can get that. You can get those materials almost anywhere, right? Like you just need some poly yarn and some macrame cord and go to town. It's a really fun. They're fun patterns to tie because you can do a lot with them with very little. Just gonna let that set for a sec here, and we'll do our spin and yield and spiel. Okay. That's a Puget Bug tied on a size 12. It has two stiff black biots out the back from Goose. It has a moose mane body tied in with one black and one white moose mane quill all the way up. And the last third of the body is tied in with Peacock hurl. The Hackle is just a Hungarian gray partridge. Simple, great little searcher pattern. It was originally tied in 1962 by Enos Barter from the Seattle area, widely used as a searching pattern for the Puget Sound area, hence the name. That's a great little searching nymph, fun to tie, got a lot of different little aspects in there, great little thing. I need to set up the whole dual stream too so I can get vertical and horizontal going again. I originally had my streams done that way and really enjoyed it. Especially because I actually had, or haven't had, a good bit of audience that watch it on TV. And having it in a horizontal format would obviously be better for those guys. There we go. Cute little buggy bugs. Such a fun little pattern. Hey, Yoshi's in. Good to have you in, mate. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, all my mind went blank. Let's get this going. Yeah, good to have you in, Yoshi. Yeah, I like sticking all my flies in a little family group like that. Go hang out with your friends. All sitting around on my wine cork, you know, playing Game Boy Color or something. I still haven't picked up my glasses I dropped behind my desk. I know, it's been like a week and a half. I really need to do that today. It does make tying these smaller, lighter flies a little easier on my eyeballs. Okay, we're going to make a little thread bump back here. Nothing crazy. This is going to help separate our bites just a bit. Oh, Muddy's in. Good to have you in, Muddy Waters. Hopefully you're having a good week, eh? This is everyone's kind of crunch time before Christmas. I'm honored to have you all spending your morning with me. Because we all got stuff to be doing. I like a nice relaxing tea and some tying in the morning. Just sets your whole day off right. Threw some nice applewood in the fireplace this morning too, so can feel the heat starting to build up in the house. I save all my applewood for around Christmas time. Yeah, I will be too shortly. Well, actually a couple hours from now, but I do work today and tomorrow. Busy time of year with all the Christmas gifts and setups. Here we go, one's in. Yeah. Responsibilities are pooey. No tree decorating. Oh, it's quite a bit shorter than it looked like originally. Thought I had that in there. Oh yeah, I guess you're gonna have to deal with all the decorating and undecorating after, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, not the nicest tail I've ever done. It's a little bit on the splayed side, but yeah, that'll work. Yeah, not for me. Monday, I got Monday off. I don't have anything to do but play video games and do some fly tying. Oh, and probably some present wrapping. I'm sure there's something I forgot. I got like 90% of everything done, which is great for me. I generally have all the gifts ready like well ahead of time, but the wrapping part, I'm not the best rapper. Or not that I'm not the best rapper, but I just uh, yeah, that's the different thing too. Like when I'm tying, I'm looking obviously down from the other opposite angle, right? Then I get the views from all the cameras, and it's like sometimes it looks great from my angle, but it looks horrible from yours, or vice versa. But I really like it when you get it flat like that, and then the two tails just kind of mesh and they disappear, and then I know I got it pretty much smack on. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. Ever since I was a young whippersnapper fly tyer, um, the biot tails have always been like a little magic labor of love for me. And one of my favorite things to tie in. And it took me a long time to actually get decent at them, to be honest. Yeah, I finally consider myself to be kind of decent at them now. Yeah, they look like they're a lot harder than they look like. They really are. I know a lot of people do struggle with them. And there's many different methods that you can tie them in. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it by any means. So whatever turns your crank and whatever works good for you, once they're tied in, it don't matter. Some people tie them both in at the same time. Some people tie them one at a time like I did. Sometimes I'll switch it up and do it the other way. Some people use a thread bump like I did. Some people put a little ball of dubbin back there. Oh, I think I heard about that too. Yeah, biots are just like, to me, they're like a magical material. Like they really are. Not only do they have a lot of nostalgia and just personal. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, money. Yeah, get back to work, buddy. Thanks for dropping in, oh, mate. Always good to see you. Well, if I don't run into you guys between now and Christmas, you guys all have a happy Merry Christmas and nice, safe holiday. I'm sure I'll see you, but if I don't, because we're all going to be busy, just know we're thinking about you. I'm going to tie that off and we'll do some rotary here. Do do do. Those first couple wraps are hard not to nail the point on your hook, but once you get it moving, not so bad. Gives you like the most get out buggy body though, eh? Absolutely love that. What's that? Word's escaping me. Wife loves them though. Those little Mexican pigs. Habba 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 habba. I want to say habanero, but that's a pepper. Javelina. Jeez, habanero. What am I doing? But yeah, javelina. The fur, or hair, I guess, not really fur, from around their muzzle and their back makes excellent wrapping material. Very similar to moose mane, it's a little on the thicker and stiffer side. I got a few packs of that, and it's wonderful stuff. Definitely need to soak it though. At least the stuff I have, it's very brittle. Okay, I'm just gonna get a little bit better thread body on this for the Peacock, and we'll tie that in. There we go. Yeah, isn't that just, like, that's such a nice buggy body. Carna Sadella. Is that a Mexican dish? Sorry, mate, not familiar with it. It sounds Spanish. Yeah, Nature Fly sells them, but there's, what's his name now? I want to say Justin, but that's not right. Anyway, Magpie Materials. What's his name? Anyway, the guy that runs Magpie Materials. He's an awesome guy. I feel bad I can't remember his name now. But anyway, he has some good not habanero. Why is my brain doing this to me? The piggy fur. Thank you. This shirt actually, a subscriber gave it to me years ago now. But PA Biker got it when he was, well, obviously down in PA, because that's where he's from. Yeah, this one's actually from a subscriber. I haven't seen him on YouTube in a long time. I don't know what happened to him, but I do miss hanging out with him. He was a cool dude. I'm not sure where he ended up. Hopefully he's doing well and his family's doing well. But yeah, thank you. I enjoy my fun little t-shirts. They make me happy. Yeah, I sent him like some stickers and some other stuff, and he just sent me back a t-shirt and a bunch of cool stuff that he had kicking around from PA. Yeah, there you go. I don't know why my brain keeps saying how. It's not saying the thing that my mouth wants it to say. Or my brain is not saying my mouth, you know. The thing with the stuff. But yeah, Nature Spirit and Magpie Materials, they both have excellent supply of that. So I'd highly recommend looking them up. Oh, I had it like perfect and then I went and pulled it forward. Brrr. Yeah, let's get one or two more wraps on that, see if I can fix that up. I'm being overly fussy because you're not going to see it once I wrap the hackle on it, but whatever. That's semi-annoying, I just wasn't paying attention. Had that nice little, perfect little fluff going on there. More T for the vocabulary. I don't know why I have problems with Spanish words. Really. I need to try growing more peppers. We're so high up here, like my growing season is so short that I'm very limited in what I can grow. When I'm down in the valley bottom, like they can grow anything down there. It's crazy. We used to actually have the main area of the town used to be called Fruitlands, and they used to have world-class apples and tomatoes and all sorts of stuff down there. The best, not only the best in Canada, but some of the best in the world in the 1910s, 1920s. But I'm about 1,500 meters higher than that, so I am in a completely different growing zone. There's been some years up here where we haven't even had 13 days consistently without frost in the summer. That hasn't happened in a while. It's been getting warmer and drier, like everywhere in the world. But there definitely have been times where it's been sticking right around the freezing mark. So we can do like cold frames, that kind of thing. Oh, good. We got ours all up already. Went with the kids and cut it down. There's an interesting little experiment we were doing with our Christmas trees. So if you care about the tree and you don't want to cut it down, you know, because you're killing a tree for Christmas, if you leave the bottom couple feet of tree and you cut it up higher, it will not kill the tree and it will stay alive. And we went back to all the same places that we cut our trees down for the last number of years, and all the old trees are still there growing. I mean, they're not going to get majestic and huge or anything, but it won't kill the tree as long as you leave a few feet on the bottom. It'll keep sprouting off branches and turn into a nice little stubby shrub. And it does work because they're all still there. And some of them are like 6, 7 years old now. Come on. Be a good boy. Yeah, I think I need to spin my bobbin here and get the twist out. Really cool. Why are you skipping? Stop it. Just want to tie in my hackle. There we go. Jeez. That wouldn't be a Nimby fly tying session if I didn't fight with my hackle, right? I'm gonna throw a little half hitch on that because I don't really trust it. Oh, grayling's on my bucket list too. I friggin' love grayling. They're so cool. And brown trout are amazing. We get some massive brown trout in the rivers around here. Huge things. They're like sharks. And the ones in the rivers are like, they have, how do you say it? Like their body color, it looks like shiny brass. It's like It's hard to describe. It's really cool. They're beautiful fish, absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna use we'll use a little hackle plier here. Yeah, brown trout, grayling, brook trout are another one, like the actual colorful brook trout are just gorgeous fish. I need to get some of those this year. We got a lot of lakes that have really good stock brook trout. I'd like to get a Gerard this year too. They're not really anything crazy, they're predator fish, like a big arse trout. I always wonder if like weird fish species that show up like that, if another fisherman just went and tossed them in the lake at some point and they somehow survived, you know? Because they had to get there somehow. And of course there's always tributaries and other ways they can get in. Yeah, I have some old stock books too. The problem up here though is like we so commonly get winter kill on a lot of stock lakes that they're not as useful as they could be, you know, because the whole lake can get killed off in one season. Like actually the one lake just behind me has gotten killed off numerous times, which is too bad because it's a beautiful lake. You can't really drive to it, you gotta hike into it. I got about 6 or 7 lakes that I can within walking distance of my house. But yeah, a lot of them, if we have a hard winter, they don't necessarily freeze solid, but the oxygen levels get too low, and they get winter killed. This is just too bad for everyone, but it is part of living in Canada. We really haven't gotten cold enough for any problems this year, but I mean we can easily get down to minus 35 or so, or minus 40 even. But I think it's only like minus 5 or so out this morning. So yeah, we've had 1 or 2 lakes where they've poisoned them on purpose to get rid of different species, like someone will let go goldfish or carp and they'll just obliterate all the native species. But that is definitely the exception to the rule. Alright, let's get some half hitches on that. Really having fun with these, I'm enjoying this. Oh, buddy, no. Come on, you're having such a nice little head there. You gotta go and do that on me. I'm blaming the fly, I totally pulled way too hard on that. I could have probably just threw some head cement on there and called it a day. Yep, clicky the buttons, do the things, make the numbers go. You know, that's a really, I didn't really... Yeah, I haven't caught shad before, but I'd like to. They're kind of another neat little fish. Where did you go? I can see the thread sticking out. 1 second, sorry. I just gotta fix my mistake here. Let's get that cut off. Sorry, ignore the sniffy nose. I'm still not 100% back yet. I'm getting there though. Energy levels are definitely. Will you just grab? Come on, I can see you. Why are you not grabbing? Mer. Sorry guys, give me 2 seconds here. Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts. I can see it, but he just can't grab it. Alright, well, whatever. This guy's done. Let's get him finished up. Right, right. Yeah, there's non-native species can just wreak havoc on an ecosystem, unfortunately. It'd be nice if they didn't and we could just all mingle, but especially carp species and stuff, they can really kind of take over. There we go. Okay, got some head cement on that guy. I think you guys in the States have a little more invasive species issues, but could just be your latitude. Go wait, there we go. I need to take that song out of my playlist. I don't know why I kept it in there. Actually, I do know why I kept it in there, because Vilgrim's daughter thought it was funny with the Marching Ants song, so I kept it in there. Okay. I've always had a little struggles with that one. It turned out pretty good. I'm happy with that. Hey, that one turned out good. Oh, I can see it. There it is. You little bugger. You guys can see it too, right? Or am I going crazy? That little... right there. Yeah, and they don't really have predators that can take care of them. Ha ha ha! Victory is mine. Got rid of you, little wispy thread. Marr. There we go. Hey, we'll try and do My nose is driving me nuts right now. I'm gonna try and do my little spin and spiel without having an issue with my nose. That's a Puget Bug tied on a size 12 hook. It has 2 black biots for the tail, a black and white moose mane quill body for the first 2/3 of the body. The last 1/3 is tied with a Peacock hurl, and then a Hungarian partridge gray Hackle up front. Really simple little fly, excellent little searching pattern. It was originally tied in 1962 by Enos Barter from the Seattle area. It was widely used in the Puget Sound area for fishing for when no nymphs, hatches are going, and it's a good searching pattern. Hence the name. Wonderful little fly. Super fun to tie, enjoyable, and great to have in your box. Give her a try. Yeah, and gar's like a local fish too, right? So you wouldn't be adding another invasive species. I don't know how vicious gar are, but they sure look vicious, that's for sure. I've never caught one. They look cool and prehistoric. There's those 3. Sorry, excuse the nose, apologize. We'll get another one done up here. Stay. And I'm just gonna make a nice little thread belt back here. I have to do some testing to see if a thread bump or the dubbing bump works any better. To me, I think the thread bump would work better because it doesn't compress like the dubbing bump could, you know? I don't think it matters too much as long as your tail's sticking out proper. The quills, they were. I soaked them last time I was tying, so they're still a little moist. I think that's why they're working so well. But yeah, I normally soak them in some hot water. It's like a cup of hot water on my tying desk here. But they currently aren't soaked, but they were. But I think having them soak in the water helped with their flexibility, so it's not an issue right now. But that definitely can be a concern for sure. Okay, so we got our black and we got our white. My cat's going nuts behind me. Not sure if you guys can hear her or not. Poor girl. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not tying in the moose mane right now. Hold on. Just, getting ahead of myself here. Let's do the quills. I'm working my way up. See a nice little step ladder thing going on there. Generally speaking, your best quills are kind of in the middle, so I like to start cutting from the middle of one and then work my way back. These ones on the end here aren't going to be as robust, but they're still useful. I normally try to save these end tips for legs on nymphs where I'm looking for more of a thin. But yeah, these ones here on the end are going to be much thinner than these guys. Maybe you can see the difference there. Those guys are much thicker. And we're getting down to the thin guys. You can see they're quite a bit substantially thinner. So normally when I get down this low, I'll just cut this off, throw it back in the bag, and then save these little end bits for nymph legs. From this point back, they will get thicker, but they also get more brittle and a little bit harder to work with. But the size difference between there and the real rear, you know, it's comparable. Not that big of a difference that I care. But this is kind of your primo spot right there. See if I can, come on, flare out for me. Be a good boy. There you go. That pretty? This stuff is awesome. So these will be the last ones I'll take from that section because they're starting to get a little bit on the small side. And I'll save those for nymph legs or other things, or if I'm just tying smaller fly. It's a cold morning this morning though. One of those ones that just kind of bites into you. I think I got that okay. Just a hair down. Yeah, that's better. It's still a little short. Yeah, it's still a little short. One easy way to tell if you have trouble with your eyes is just go by feel. Like your finger is not flat, but it's relatively flat. And you can feel it prick, and you can also see the movement. So when you get them both relatively the right size, you can just go by feel. And if you're older or you just have eyesight issues, that works a treat, let me tell you. Oh, I did have it in the right place, and then it went and shifted on me. Bad quill, stay. There we go, beauty. Okay. Happy with those. Let's tie the rest in now. We're just going to tie the butt ends right in. Again, we don't really need to build up a body on these, but it doesn't hurt either. The biggest thing is making sure that we have a smooth enough body that we can tie the quill mane in after. We don't want any major lumpy lumps. I'm using a 6/0? No, 8/0. I'm using 8/0, so it's fairly small. So it does take a while to build up any thread for the body. Now, when I say smooth, what I'm referring to is along the body here. So I'm not really worried about any indentations for the thread. You can see if I rub this, you'll see the bodkin will jump because it's not smooth. It's actually textured. If I run my bodkin over it like a burnisher, like so, then you'll see my bodkin doesn't jump anymore because I got rid of all those rough spots. When we're tying in moose mane, these rough spots can actually be helpful because they'll keep the mane wrapping consistently, almost like a thread on a screw or whatever. If you're doing floss, then you definitely want to get rid of those ridges. So just give it a little rub like that. You don't need anything special. Just use your bodkin. You can buy special agate burnishers and all that stuff. And yes, they probably do work slightly better, but for our intents and purposes, it is not going to make any difference. Now you can see when I rub my bodkin on there, it's nice and smooth. It's not jumping around anymore. And I'm getting a little bit of jump. I don't know if the camera's picking up, but you can see it's like dit. So I didn't quite varnish that area there correctly. And again, this is not for this pattern. This is not something we need to do here. In fact, having it the other way actually works a little better. Oh, there, that's better. It's not as bumpy as it was. But having a little bit of twist in there and not having a perfectly flat tying surface in this case is actually beneficial to wrapping this. So, and in most cases I prefer to have a bit of a rough thread base because it does help your materials to stick and lay down. It gives you something to bite into. Because you're not going to be able to compress the shank of the hook. You can only compress the materials that you're tying in. So if they're already flat and as compressed as they're going to get, they're going to be almost as slippy as your shank. But if you have some room in between the thread wraps, it'll give you a little bit of room to make some changes to it. So we're just going to throw a couple half hitches in here and get that up on the bobbin holder so we can rotate this. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna grab some tea first. I'm almost out of tea. The tragedy. Alright, so we got one white and one dark. Hopefully you can see that there. This will give us a wonderfully segmented body when we wrap it up. Most important thing is your first couple wraps, you really want to pay attention to that hook point because it will devastate you. It only takes a little nip for it to break these fibers up. And there we go. And this gives you such a wonderful buggy body. Just like magic. There we go. That is so cool. Like we were saying earlier, if you don't have moose mane, because I know it's not the easiest thing to come across, but one patch like that one patch I have there will last you a good chunk of your fly tying career, that's for sure. Especially if you're doing bodies like this with it. So I can get 2 flies out of just 2 hairs from that moose mane. I can get 2 whole flies out of it, which is wonderful. Now if you're worried about durability, you can throw on UV resin or some head cement on that after. Yeah, just burying down those tag ends and making a little bit of a smoother transition here. And we'll back up and we'll tie that in. There we go, that should work fine. Yeah, exactly. That makes a wonderful little mosquito too, I have to admit. I don't use them for mosquitoes as often as I probably should. I generally use like leftover quills from I save my quills from the grizzly hackle from tying like Adams or whatever. Or sorry, not for like tails or legs or what have you. And then I'll tie those in and use those for the bodies. They have a natural Do I have one kicking around here? Yeah, I do. Yeah, not the best example in the world, because I use it with, I also use them for poking through the eye to clear out any goop or whatever. But yeah, wrapping with one of these, if you don't have moose mane, would be another option too. You can just strip the quills. You definitely want to soak these though, or they're going to get brittle and break on you. But that is another fine option. And you just got to find a darker feather, or one that has a darker rachis anyway. The feather color doesn't necessarily mean that it has a dark rachis at all. Okay, we'll get this tied in. Freaking love Peacock, look at that. Like I said, gonna do 2 to 3 wraps back first just to cover that, and then I'll weave my way back in. There we go. Now work our way back up. Come on, buddy. I was following a nice track there, and then I decided to just go all cattywampus on me. There we go. Beauty. That makes me happy. That little bug. Yeah, just gonna get a little bit of a thread base here to wrap that collar on. You're gonna murder some fish. You're good looking. I'm happy with you. That body. That's such a cool thing. Yeah, guess where I get mine from? Temu. This is just cheap Chinese peacock. And it's beautiful. I mean, look at the iridescence on that. They're not as thick as the stuff you get in the shop. I mean, this one, you know, here's some fly shop stuff. This one's really old. These are a little bit thicker, a little more robust. But yeah, I am not a proponent in specific shops or whatever for supplies at all. I'll get my supplies anywhere. Especially with materials like that, like a live material that came from an animal. It's coming from the animal. It's not coming from the country. A peacock in China is still a peacock. Okay, let's see here. That's almost like some cool, like, partridge marabou. Look at that. Check that out. Almost tempted to, you know. That has potential. I'll save that. You might be too short. Are you too short? You're definitely shorter. Now that being said, I mean, good peacock is worth money because it's good peacock. Yeah, I mean, like, there are certain patterns. Like, I have, like, all that being said, I have very nice and very expensive peacock. Probably have some here. You know, like some really nice eyes. But I also have sorry, don't mind me, I'm gonna go on a little tangent here for a second. Nimby, go on a tangent? Wow, that's never happened before. Alright, hold on, gotta open my drawer a little wider. I need to organize this a little better. Huh. Okay, maybe I didn't put it back in my drawer. But yeah, I do also buy bulk supplies, so I do have a like industrial size thing of Peacock hurl that's like probably 2 pounds, like retarded. Thousands of flies worth of Peacock. And I have like really nice stuff for doing like the puffy bits on salmon flies where you really want that extra poof on the hurl. Yeah, even like not that I'm dropping names or anything, but even like Davey McPhail and world-renowned fly tires, they'll still buy in bulk on eBay or wherever they can get it. I mean, like, to each their own, right? So, like, if you try it and you don't like it, like, what do you have to lose? Just a couple dollars, right? And if you try it and you're like, hey, this stuff works exactly the same as the stuff I was paying $15 a pack for at the fly shop, then, might change your mind. And I'm not trying to, like, change people's buying habits or whatever. It's just to do with opening your mind up to different materials, right? Yeah, I've actually had some good luck on Peacock swords through Temu and stuff. But yeah, if you're... Oh yeah, you bet he does. He's probably got one of the biggest YouTube channels. I think he's like, what, 1,700 videos or something silly like that? He's got to be close to 2,000 videos by now. And he's just a nice guy. Like, he's just honestly an amazing human being. So, fly tire aside, he's just a really nice guy. And he's down to earth with a lot of his stuff. So, but yeah, he's got a few videos on how to find really, that's cool. I've never actually talked to the gentleman, but I would not mind to, because he is top of his game, let me see. But anyway, he has several videos about Peacock on his channel that kind of go over all that, and he literally goes and buys his Peacock on eBay, and he says like he'll buy it kind of by the pound, right? He'll buy like 20 or 30 full Peacock, like the whole frond, right? The whole thing, and he'll buy like 20 or 30 of them or more, and then he'll pick through and pick out the nice ones and the not so nice ones, and you can use them all for different things, right? So he's going to save his really nice ones for his salmon flies and things where it matters, and then the not so nice stuff he's going to use for, like, the thorax on a nymph, or like things where it's not going to really matter at all. And that's more to my point, is that you can open your mind up to different materials, and it doesn't have to cost really much money at all. It really doesn't. But it's like that whole good, fast, cheap thing, right? Pick your two. So if you do that and you're saving money, it's not going to be fast, and it's going to take your Yeah, however you say his last name. I think it's McPhail, but I don't want to butcher it, so I'm not gonna say I'm an expert on it. I've done my butchering of names already today. Okay, I'm going to. Where did I put my Hackle players down? I just keep losing those things. There. Yeah, sorry, kind of got sidetracked on that, but he has some videos just on my point that even though he buys a lot of stuff. Oh, David? No, he's down in where is he? England, Britain. He's in that part across the pond, anyway. Where is he? England, Britain? He's over in that side of the Europe, anyway. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Davey is he's an awesome human being. He's not in it for the fame or the money at all, like, not even a little bit. In fact, he probably doesn't even like that aspect of it. He just honestly loves what he does. He just loves Ireland. Thank you. I knew he was over that way. And he didn't, he hasn't been fly tying his whole life. He just picked up the habit. I think he actually needed money. He has a video and a story on how he got into it and his beginnings and everything. And he just kind of just picked it up and ran with it, and he ended up, he's got some skills. But it's not just skills, it's he has a real passion for the hobby, or the art, or the craft, or whatever you want to call it. But some people get really good because they spend thousands of hours doing it. And some people get really good because they just are. And he's one of those just are people. But yeah, if I ever got a chance to meet him, I would be absolutely honored. Because he's just such a good, cool guy. But yeah, check out his channel. Just search for Peacock. I think it's in his materials section on his playlist. And he goes through how he buys his Peacock because he has such trouble sourcing it too. And he'll say a lot of similar things like I was saying. Like he'll buy it online, eBay, doesn't matter. Wherever he can find it that's, going to be decent. And that's my same methodology is you don't need to get it from Hairline or any specific provider. Oh, come on, man. It's got one little wispy hackle bit that's just... Did I get you? I think I got you. I got you. Victory is mine. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's ever been into my channel. I assume he's probably at least seen it at some point, because it's not tooting my own horn or anything. I'm just getting up there in the video counts to the point where eventually the algorithm's probably going to feed him one of my videos. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, is that he's just a nice person. Like, he's not popping into people's live streams and being like, hey, I'm Davey, blah, blah, blah. He's just a solid guy. He just really enjoys the craft, and in his videos he has a lot of really good information in it too. That's a big part of what I enjoy about this too, is the community is awesome. Like the YouTube bait making slash fly tying community, it's great. They're really awesome people. I got that one hackle sticking up. I kind of want to just tweak it. Yeah. I mean, honestly, people are saying bad stuff about him. They're probably not. They haven't done their homework, you know. Got just a few going forward here that are kind of begging to be trimmed. There we go. Yeah, that's a very good way to describe him. We probably have a lot of similar mannerisms. Like I said, just be a guy that I could sit down, have a coffee with, and bullshit for half a day. He's also very good, from what I get from his videos. He's a very good family man. He cares a lot about his family. If I remember his origin video, where everything started from, that's exactly why he got into it, is because he needed some cash to take care of his family and just picked up the hobby to start tying and making some side income. Oh, I got one little frond sticking out there. Let me grab that. Looks like it broke. There we go. Oh, thank you, Jack Pepper. Yeah, like, you'll enjoy that. He doesn't post nearly as frequently as he used to, but like I said, he's got um, such a large catalog of videos that you can spend weeks and weeks just watching his stuff. Everything from live fishing, or not live, but filmed. Well, maybe he did do some live. Yeah, I try to keep everything I do here pretty chill. Thank you, Robert. Yeah, I don't see any reason to make, if I was a little more. Aw, you're back. I'm sorry, mate. Good to have you back in, Casual. We've all have those days. That's why they call it fishing and not catching, right? So that's a Puget Bug tied on a size 12. It has two black biot tails from Goose. It has a quill mane body wrapped up, black and white, alternating, making a wonderful little body. The last third of the body is tied in with a Peacock. And for the hackle, it is just a partridge, a Hungarian partridge in gray. Wonderful little searching pattern. Was originally tied in 1962 by Enos Barter in the Seattle area. It was widely used in the Puget Sound area for all the lakes around in that area for a searching nymph pattern when no other hatches or anything are going off. I really enjoy tying it though. It's a fun little tie. Works great. Definitely a good fly to have a couple of these in your box. And just a fun tie. Just a fun little pattern. Thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, I mean it's like that I guess it's a meme now, but um, if you could choose one of two things, you can choose that you go out fishing and you only catch one massive fish, like the best fish in the lake, with one cast, but you will never catch another fish that day. Or you catch a fish every cast. It's like, which one would you pick? And it's like, I would pick the one fish because if you're catching fish every single cast, then it becomes boring, right? It takes all the fun and joy out of it. Yeah, I haven't done much fall winter fishing, but I've definitely, fished for hours to the point where all my eyes on my rod are frozen up. I was actually trying to think of like some way to prevent that. If you could run like a battery heated guide, like your first guide maybe, or doing something with the first guide to strip the water off, or like there must be a solution to that. I was trying to think about that the other day, like what you could do to keep your eyes from freezing up on your rod. I've put a little bit of petroleum jelly at times on them on the first eye. It does muck up your line a little bit, but it does stop the water from. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's been there. I mean, if you've been fishing in around freezing temperatures, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It just mucks your rod all up. Oh, ha! You're absolutely right. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said yes. Puget Sound. Did I just say yes? I didn't. Yes, it's Puget Sound. What am I thinking? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I mispronounced that so horribly. Rubbing alcohol. Oh, that would probably work better than the grease. Yeah. Now I feel like a bit of a goof. I can't believe I mucked that up. Yeah, it's obviously Puget Sound. Jeez. Thanks, Robert. Oh my god. I can't believe I'm. Yeah, it's not Puget, it's Puget Sound. Jeez. I should know that too. Oh my gosh. It's like pronouncing salmon, Salomon. Yeah, everyone else is pronouncing it wrong. Nimby's got it right. Everyone else is doing that stuff wrong. Yeah, I'd imagine it wouldn't last as long, but it will be interesting. I wonder if a thinner oil would work too. That's the problem, is it gets on your line, especially like fly line, you gotta clean it after. But there must be a solution to that. I can't think of any commercial solutions for that, right? Like, am I wrong? Is there anything on the market that is even marketed towards that? It's gotta be a thing. Someone has had come up with some kind of solution. Or am I just completely off on left base here? There's got to be someone that's come up with like a business idea for that. Yeah, Vilgrams has some funny pronunciations. I like that guy. Oh my god, I can't believe I mucked that up though. Oh, you can definitely fly fish when it's snowing. But like I said, it just becomes problematic after a while when your guides start freezing up. Huh. Yeah, because it is, like, especially if you, I wonder if you use, like, I don't know if I'd want to go, like, kerosene or something, but you'd want, like, if you had something that was a little bit oilier that would stay on the guides, because the downside with rubbing alcohol is it's, you know, copacetic with water, it'll mix in with the water, but you want, I would assume you'd want something that's hydrophobic, that's not gonna, you know, wash off as quick. So like a thinner oil, but like you really don't want oil on your line. I'm gonna give some thought to that because there has to be a solution to that. And I really don't know of any company that's has a product out to solve that problem, which is weird. Be a good business idea for someone. Alright, we'll start up our own business, call it Nimby's Line Lube. We don't really shoot it, you strip it off. That's true. Maybe a silicone would work well. I didn't really think about that. Because that's hydrophobic. Yeah, that's true. You could. That'd be a lot less messy than a spray or something. That's for sure. But I know it's like everyone that fishes in this type of weather has all been there, where they're, you know, you're suffering as it is, right? You're out there in the rough, and you're just enjoying yourself, but having that ice build up really. Oh, it's Dustin. Hey, Dustin. Sorry, mate, if I didn't see you pop in there sooner. How long you been in here for? Yeah, Dustin's got a good brain for this kind of stuff. Oh, aren't we all? Good to have you in, Dustin. I'm glad I got to say hi to you before Christmas. The best fly is the one that you have tied on the end of your line. Because all the ones you have sitting in your box aren't going to catch any fish. And yeah, if you're buying flies, there you go. Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Amazon flies or Temu flies or... Yeah, Maddie did that. Just a little dish soap works well. You can buy specific fly tying line cleaner, but depending on how much access you have to fly shops, whether that's worth it for you or not. Olive oil, that might be a good option. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Dustin. I'm glad we could say hi to you before Christmas came in. Just burying that down. Olive oil, that's not a bad idea, because then it's also, well, I mean, it can still technically go rancid, but I mean, it's, at least it's food safe, right? You're not gonna have more nasty chemical stuff. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Okay, we're gonna be tying in our body now, which is this Lovely, lovely moose, man. One black, one not so black. Oh, we know he's on the list. Yeah, thanks for enjoying your morning coffee with us. I appreciate that. But yeah, casual, like, just because flies are cheap or mass produced doesn't mean they're not going to work for you. Not at all. Don't let anyone tell you different. Really? Okay. That might be a solution. Huh. Yeah, because I just had Vaseline like chapstick. I bet you are. Oop. Oh, I dropped my whip finish. That's true, yeah. I've beeswaxed my lines before. Yeah, wherever you can get it. Like, it's, like, I don't enjoy how a lot of people kind of bash that, right? Like, whatever, it's a hobby. It's like, doesn't matter where you buy oil paints for your oil paints either. Whatever works for you and gets you tie-in, that's the only thing that matters. Yeah, I got totes and totes and totes of stuff that's not fly tying material that I use for fly tying. And I thoroughly enjoy that. I think that's like, to me, that's a big aspect of the hobby that just tickles me pink. I thoroughly enjoy random material stuff. Should hand out t-shirts for that. Now, all that being said, I mean, there is some really premium fly tying material out there, and it's nice to have. Like, don't get me completely wrong. The nice stuff is nice stuff for a reason. It's not nice, right? So, if you can find it and you get access to it, wonderful. But if all you have access to is Amazon and you can't afford Taco Bell, then yeah, jump on it. Later, casual. Hopefully, we'll see you in tomorrow. Like to have you in. Thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Laters. Later, Jack. Thanks for stopping in, mate. Always a pleasure to have you in. Yeah, it's getting that time of day where I need to grab some food too. And the problem with a lot of fly shops is that it's not so much that they're prices are ridiculous. It's just they don't have any way of getting it in cheaper, repackaging it, and turning some kind of profit, right? And being a fly shop, I would expect them to have, you know, the higher quality materials too, or what have you, and that you're gonna pay for that. But you don't have to. You really, really don't for most things. Yeah. Oh, all the time. Like, what do I have here? No. Anyway, I can't reach it. It's in my hook bin over there. But I got some. I like trying different hooks off of Temu in different places, and I ordered some. Yeah, I got some hooks off of Temu, and to me they look like Mustang hooks. Like they're like that looks like a regular, you know, decent quality Mustang hook. So I ordered a couple boxes of them, but they were substantially cheaper. And when they come in, yep, sure enough, they're Mustang hooks. Like even on the box, it's some old vintage Mustangs that they just must have had for overstock or who knows what. But I was blown away that. Oh, huge, yeah. If you want a pretty looking box or you want a catch fish, two totally different things. Whew, this guy's probably going to be too big. Let's see. Might have to pull out another feather here. This is my last one from the batch I pulled earlier. And he looking chunky. Let's see. Yeah, I think maybe we can make that work. I'm just going to strip a little bit more off here. That's an excellent way to put it. Yeah. For me, it's all about like, are you enjoying the hobby? Are you, you know, that's the other thing with fly shops is they're there to make people happy, right? Like nobody needs to go into a fly shop. You go into the fly shop to get material to make yourself happy, right? It's not like they're selling insulin or something. Well, some people it might be. Alright, so got that all prepped up. We're going to go a little bit on the shorter side here because this feather is a hair longer. So trim that off pretty heavy. We'll see how this works out for us. Alright, don't be a toot. Come on now. Yeah, you gotta remember that each of these businesses are serving a different group of people too, right? One's not better than the other. Like, it's not a competition. Well, I guess technically it's business, it's competition, but like, my point is it's not. If people buy stuff from Temu or Amazon, they're not like the fly shop isn't necessarily losing, right? They're selling to a different group of people generally. I love freaking fly shops, yeah, of course. Ugh, not in the mood for the crazy kind of polka stuff today. There we go. That's better. Come on, dude, don't fight with me all the time. Settle down. Find your little happy spot and get to it. Partridge can be the weirdest feather to soft hackle at times. A lot of times it just doesn't feel like it makes a lot of sense. Like most feathers, while you're wrapping them, they kind of do their thing and they're roughly kind of the same for each feather you wrap. Give or take, every feather's different, but for me, partridge is like yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not putting down local shops. And I do believe that you should support your local shop. But I think my major point was just don't get stuck in one mindset that one's better than the other. They're just different. And the only important thing is that you're enjoying your tying. So whatever gets you to that spot where you're happy and you're enjoying yourself, that's the important thing. The rest of it don't matter. See you later, Run. Thanks for hanging out, mate. Oh, I don't think you can drop less than $40. Yeah, and I love all my local fly shops too. Like, don't get me wrong that way. I'm just cool. Yeah, that's one of the more important aspects of a fly shop is the atmosphere, right? It's almost like a coffee shop for fishermen. Oh, and that's the other thing too. There's gobs of tires out there that don't have shops anywhere close. Like even me, I got 3 or 4 shops that I can go to, but it's over an hour drive to get there, so. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go to some of those classic fly shops or like the more famous ones like Fly Fish Food or, you know, the original Orvis shop, things like that. One second, I dropped my whip finisher. Get all the cat hair off it. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed this tying session and enjoyed the conversation and camaraderie and questions. I really had a good time. Hopefully you guys did too. And that's the cool thing about YouTube compared to other platforms and stuff is you guys get to be just as big a part of all this too. the subscriptions and the likes and the comments and the input and all that. I drive by one kind of almost every day, like when I go get groceries or whatever, there's one close that way. But, you know, I just live way out in the bush, so it's way easier for me to order stuff online than, you know, spending 20 or 30 bucks just on gas to go get some. Oh, really happy to have you in, mate. That's exactly what I'm about here, is just chill, enjoying, learning a bit about our craft, just hanging out with good people. That's what it's all about. Look at that little bugger. He's a bugger, because he's a bug. He's a little sparser than the other guys, but that's also a little longer, so I was trying to compensate for the extra length on the feather. I'm just going to brush him out a little bit because he's clumping together. Well, he doesn't want to separate all that well. That's good. That's true. Oh yeah, I'll do my rotation and spiel here. And there's a Puget Bug tied on a size 12 hook with a tail with... tail is tied in with 2 biots in gray. The body is tied in with moose mane, 1 white and 1 black, wrapped up in a nice spiral pattern. The last third of the body is tied in with Peacock hurl and has a nice Hungarian gray partridge hackle to it. A wonderful little searching nymph. This was originally tied in 1962 by Enos Barter from the Seattle area, widely used in the Puget Sound area for a nymph searching pattern when nothing else is hatching. Wonderful little thing, fun little tie. You really got to add a couple of these to your box. Good stuff. It's a cool little fly, it really does. I like these guys. There's oh, not quite half a dozen, but we're getting there. My tummy's rumbling though. I'm gonna get me some foods, and I gotta restock the fireplace before it gets too cold. There's all the ones we did today. Appreciate everyone hanging out with me. Hey, it's K-Fish. Dude, you always pop in right at the end of my stream. Good to see you, K-Fish. Merry Christmas, Anna, if I don't see you between then and now. Yeah, sorry, K-Fish. We're just tying some Puget Sound, or Puget bugs. Little nymphs. Excellent little searching pattern. Fun little tie. Good to have you in though, K-Fish. You hit 2K yet? No, you were so close last time I popped in there. Yeah, I know my streams are a little early, but I moved them early on purpose. Makes it a little more consistent for me. I know I'd probably get more people in if I was a little bit later. But it's all good, it is what it is. You hit 2K yet? I gotta go check your channel. I know you were like super close. Hey, thanks for the, what's that, sticker? I'm not sure what that is. Super chat checker, whatever it was. Thank you. Sorry, you caught me Ah, you did hit 2K. Congrats, man. Sorry, I was jumping over to check out your channel here. Yeah, I'm getting hungry. I need to get me some breakfast. My tummy is a rumbling. Maybe make some bacon or something good. Nom nom nom. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. I'm sure I'll see you between then and now, but if we get busy and we don't see each other... Yeah, YouTube's been weird that way. Hey, I've had to resubscribe to so many channels lately. It's like they just dumped a whole bunch of subscriptions. Well, I hate to run right after getting a super chat from K-Fish like that, but I thoroughly enjoy it, or thoroughly appreciate it, mate. I'm gonna grab some, sorry, stay still there. But yeah, I'm gonna go grab some breakfast, and just want to thank everyone for hanging out in the chat. So we got K-Fish, we got Stardusted, we got Muddy Waters, we got Robert Trudge on, we got Yoshi, got Casual Fisher. Am I missing it? I'm missing a bunch of people. Run, course, run. Oh, I feel like I'm missing a few people here. No, I think I got everyone. If I missed you, I apologize. You guys all have a great Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm sure I'll see you between then and now, but if not, thanks for hanging out. Always a pleasure.